Hello everybody and welcome back to SpeedForce Racing. My name is JB and I'll be taking you through tonight's proceedings here at Silverstone for the Premier Division of SFR. Before we do anything else though, let's have a look at the championship standings because P. Walters in P1 ahead of Medium Pilot in P2 and Nicomania is in P3. Nolan, after throwing a paddy and missing last week, has come back, is in P4, and James Braden is in P5, Sem is in P6, Raikkonen is in P7, Gilles is in P8, and Mike Bundy is in P9 after a poor result in Austria. Cheng Wow is in P10, and Verstappen is in P11, Honey Badger is in P12, and Owen Ord is in P13. Primero, who's not here, is in P14, Midnight is in P15, Virtue is in P16, Gasly is in P17, Ruslan is in P18, then Virgil is in P19, and Torpedo is in P20. The Constructors' Championships are looking all the more British, though, because McLaren is in P1 ahead of Williams in P2, Haas is in P3, and Racing Point is in P4, Mercedes Formula 1 is in P6. Renault is in P5 and Alfa Romeo is in P6. Red Bull is in P8. Alfa Romeo is in P8. That's a mistake on the table there. Red Bull is in P8 and Ferrari is in P9. Toro Rosso is in P10. I'm not on my own tonight though, because tonight I'm joined by the sweet Belgian curls of Senna, who's rather sick. Hello, mate.
Hello.
I've infected you, didn't I?
You did. And I'm not happy with it.
Well, it's the curse of having such a small comms box. All we do is sit here and just breathe on each other.
I think so.
I sleep in a bed in the hotel room. All my commentators just lay close to me. I got my arms around them, and I'm like the mother, and they're like my babies.
I hope it wasn't that intense, but okay.
Yeah, well, there's one nipple for each, you know.
I already did Lando Norris, so maybe you guys gonna hear that in stream too.
Yeah, he went full Lando Norris when I said something a minute ago. That was quite entertaining. Oh man. So we're here for the Premier Division at Silverstone. My favourite track in the Formula 1 calendar. Senna, you said to me it's a difficult track for you, but how do you feel watching it?
Like watching a race in Formula 1.
Oof. Political answer there.
I think you're very frustrated with that answer.
No, this is the best track in the world. It is. Simple fact. Mainly because I work for them and I have to say that. But still, it's I think this track though has a sort of charm that every other track doesn't. It sort of has that. It's so fast, but you have to be so precise through certain corners.
Yeah.
It's so old and yet so new. I love the track. There's nothing you can ever say to make me feel like it's not good.
The long pits.
The long pits are interesting because I've actually walked down that pit lane several times. It's so cold because it's underground. It's very cold down there. But yeah, anyway, so we're off to we've been given the command, so we're heading off to qualifying now. What are we expecting from commentary? From commentary, hopefully, we're looking for some competent idiots that can't actually talk about racing cars at some point here.
That's the right answer.
Yeah. Oh god, it's all uphill from here. From qualifying, we're looking for fast lap times, holding your nerve through the turn 1 at Abbey, and then going absolutely crazy later on in the lap. This is such a good track.
Maybe some rain.
We had rain yesterday, and we had rain on Monday.
It is possible.
What will happen?
It will be very nice to watch.
The only bad thing about Silverstone, and you can't even see it in this game, is that now, between the two grandstands on the pit straight, they've actually removed one grandstand, because they had 3. They've removed one grandstand to put a god-awful hotel down there. There's a Hilton Hotel being built on Silverstone that's going to have a bridge across the pits into the wing, and I hate it! I'm so grumpy. Honestly, it's the worst thing on planet Earth. I think they need to make it look like the wing. It's a Hilton, so it's crap. The only thing I've heard about, though, is that there's a Costa going to be in there, so I'll be happy. So, it's bright blue skies here at Silverstone as we look at the wing. And this is going to be rather fun, as we have 19 drivers come out to play here in the Premier Division. What are we expecting? We saw how quick the lap times were last night. I think it was like a 27 or 26.9 was the fastest qualifying lap time, I think it was, for GP2. What will happen here as we hear engines fire? The Mercedes of Nolan is the one to be released first. How excited are you?
I'm really excited. I think also the fact that we have a lot of British drivers will take a part in this race.
Rain at the end of the race, apparently. Apparently, rain at the end of the race is possible here at Silverstone.
That should be cool. Anything can change then. I really think I'm expecting a really good session of Medium Pilot. I really think he can take some points of P out of this race.
Well, apparently we have an esports driver in our midst. Apparently there is a gentleman who races in esports. Hello all. It's Williams Jim Tim. Now, I'm old. I don't follow esports or anything because I'm old and I like racing to be in public. So if anyone knows anything about it, let me know because you know. Nonetheless, though, so we're looking at Nolan on his lap now, or his out lap, as he comes along the national pit straight and into Cops Turn 1. You asked me, actually, Sally, you DM'd me, and I didn't respond because I'm rude. You asked me any crazy stories from marshalling.
Yeah.
So he's new to the league, he's only just found out about Motorsport Marshal. There was one. The first time I ever marshalled, I marshalled in the middle of Maggots and Beckett's, so I was in Beckett's. And a car span off in a Ginetta Junior qualifying session. He span off and he beached himself in a gravel. I ran out with the guys to try and clear him. We couldn't clear him, so we had to get the JCB to pull him out with a big digger. So after that, we went back to positions, and then and I was looking out at the circuit, and someone span out again, but this time not into where we were, into the middle of Maggots. So he was sat there. He was about a quarter turn away from getting hit driver side door. So he was sat there waiting. We were all just waiting to see if he was going to get ploughed into, but he didn't. He got off racing. We thought, okay, that's entertaining. I was talking to my incident officer, and then another driver spins out and bins it in the gravel in front of us. And that all happened in about a 3-minute segment.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty nuts. So, yeah, that was my first time ever doing it, and I've been hooked ever since. I think I've got the Walter Hayes coming up, which is going to be absolutely mental. Anywho, off the subject of my escapades at Silverstone wearing a giant orange baby grow, Nolan is coming through Maggots and Beckett's now. I want to say as flat as you can through Maggots, a little bit of a gear change or a lift in to Beckett's and into Chapel now as he hits towards the hangar straight, DRS opening, powering down on the straight. They actually made the straight narrower in 2019 to try and slow the cars down. Didn't work. And through Stowe, Nolan flirting with the curves a lot, running very wide there. You can get away with that as he breaks down into Vale and into Club. Sorry, that was Aintree back there. Derating on the engine. It's going to be a bloody Nora. It's going to be a 26.2. What a lap time from the Spaniard. That's a second
Wouters is
quicker.
doing a very good lap as well.
That's a second
Takes a slipstream
quicker.
now from his teammate.
Ooh.
That's a good one. That's a good one from Wouters, taking the slipstream from his teammate.
It was, yes. I did that last night for my teammate. I gave him a nice slipstream. As we're looking at P. Walters coming through the final corners now, through Club.
Ooh, he's not gonna get it. He's not gonna
quick.
get it.
Oh!
Misses 5/10.
Oh, it's
Nick
getting
Mania
closer.
goes second.
It's all getting closer. We want someone to beat him. He's a 27-2. Verstappen's round. Verstappen round at Woodcote. What a spin on the exit of Ruffield He gets it back started as he heads towards Woodcut now.
Yeah, he was doing a timed lap, I think. So
He was.
that's ruining his chances of this lap.
I said I'd be screaming today, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. I won't do that today. If I do that once, I think I'm full and no noise again, so...
Oh, I love that that's now an insult. Hello to everyone who's joining us in the chat. I know Felix has come to pay. We got Laser Lord as always, and Dan who's come to see us. Dan's come to watch me because he knows I might rage. Williams Jim Tim, out on a lap now in the Red Bull. Honda power seems to be the best power here at Silverstone because it, gave someone a win in a Toro Rosso or an Alfa. Did you hear about Toro Rosso wanted to change their name?
Yeah, I did.
Alfa Turi. Do you know what Alfa
yeah.
Turi is?
I think it's one of a car of a brand of Red Bull or something.
It's their fashion label.
Oh.
Their fashion label. So they're going full Benetton.
Okay. I guess they will have some good suits then next year. Some nice designs.
I'd like. It sort of screams purple to me, doesn't it? It does. It sort of.
I don't know.
The name it sort of screams purple. This is from a graphic designer point of view. Can Nolan get into 125s? That is actually very possible and scarily possible here at Silverstone. With the fact that he's going to be close. I reckon a 26.0 is the most I think he's going to manage, though. Don't you, Senna?
Yeah, I think so. I'm really thinking now about medium pilot if he can go close to Nolan because there's 4 tenths between him and the second one. That's a big gap.
Williams Jim Tim has just absolutely decimated Nolan. We are on for a good race
today.
They
will get in the 125s today.
Oh yeah! Holy moly me! What's happening here at Silverstone as we look at the Williams of medium pilot, the 98 car powering towards Cops. Completely forgetting where I am on track. I should probably start remembering that. So into Cops and now heading down towards Maggotts and Beckett's. Or flat if you like in the Williams handles beautifully at this track.
It is.
DRS opening on the British car as it powers down towards
It was a good
Stowe.
sector 2 from him.
Is it gonna beat Williams Jim Tim though? Obviously sponsored by Williams in the Red Bull car. What's happening now as the car from Grove comes through the final corner?
No, it's a bad lap.
I must have made a mistake.
129.
Still quicker than Verstappen. It's just Brady.
Yeah, that's not very difficult, I think. For 140.
It's James Braden in the house. He's got a bit of traffic as he passes Mike Bundy on an outlap and powers through Maggotts and Beckett. Seen as a car in front. It's probably the Ferrari of someone. I think it's it's Chain Game. What can Braden do as he powers along the straight? Underneath the 2019 banner, you see the weaving cars at the top, the McLaren and the Renault, who may have just had an almost accident there of Mike Bundy. Where can James Braden filter into all of this? Oh, lock up there for Braden.
Locks up. It won't be a good lap either.
It's gonna be 27.9.
Yeah, 127.9.
Still quicker than medium pilot.
That's not good enough.
Rustland is... I think he's struggling to find a gap to go in right now.
A lot of traffic out on track.
That's one of the issues with Silverstone. You can go a little bit too far and end up with
It is.
And end up with traffic everywhere. I had that most definitely last night when I got caught out within traffic. And Russell now with slightly dirty tyres comes through Farm and into Village. He's not the Village idiot. Has the Belgian driver as he comes through the loop and then powering on.
And Russell, Gasly has gone off track. He lost his rear and now edging out from the other cars. He was doing a time lap. He was quite quick too, but he lost his rear. So this won't be a lap he will finish, I think.
Well, Words will be said now as we look at the Williams, who's run out onto the gravel there, powering towards the main, the previous straight. He's got a car in front of him. It looks to be Virgil. No, sorry, I think it's Fotio. And we keep an eye on the Williams, who's looking to score a good position. He's currently behind his teammate, as I've lost the chat on my phone. Let's try and get that back up. DRS opening. DRS is so powerful at this track, isn't it?
It is.
So
now medium pilot is out on the mediums.
Well, he's got them positioned on the cars. Russell uses all the track and then some. As now the car powers through the final couple of corners. Very smooth drive here from Russell.
Goes third.
Well done, Fotio. Russell goes 13th. Sem, way off track right now in the McLaren. Something's wrong with that car. Not a shock with it being a McLaren Renault.
And Raikkonen and Midnight didn't do one lap yet.
Yeah, Raikkonen's still in the pit lane now. Oh, okay, so Sem getting out the way of his teammate. And, Williams Jim Tim, who slowed down to let someone through. He's not happy with him, Sem isn't.
What can Wouters do?
Yeah, where is P-Walters? I think Sem, I'm just keeping an eye on Sem right now because he's heading to pit lane. I was just curious about what he was doing. Where is our German fellow in the McLaren? He's coming around the final corner now. It's a quick time. It's a 26.6.
Yeah, still 5/10 behind Tim. So
look how close the grid is, though.
It is. It is. Only the top 3 is quite a big gap from each other.
Oh god, it spread into the stream chat. the commentators chat, there were comments made a few weeks ago, a few days ago, and it sort of spread into the stream chat now. This is jokes between 2 commentators, and I don't want to know. You probably weren't looking at it, and best you didn't, as we're looking at Jim Tim now in the Red Bull. First outing in SFR as a reserve driver, covering for Primero. Little wriggle on the rear end, though, said the Red Bull, as it comes through Magnus and Beckett's. Senna. Whoa, with Russell getting out of the way. You don't want to catch... Where's the worst pace you think you can catch a car here? Because I know exactly where it is. But he's backed out. And it seems like we have lost Senna for a bit. Hopefully he'll return. There's his mic's on mute. Then I will call him silly.
I'm back.
Hello.
No worries. I'm still alive.
I killed him.
I have nothing to worry about. Just my control was empty today.
Ah, okay. Raikkonen is on a lap now as he comes down the Wellington Straight. He's on a slow lap though.
Yeah, so that's not gonna be a fast one.
He's got medium pilot right up behind him there. So what we got here?
Medium pilots is really, he's gonna need to hurry up. Only 4 minutes remaining and he's now on the mediums. So if he wants to try and go further than P15, he'll need to go box.
He had to make a late lift there from in the middle of Stowe, which was a bit odd that the Williams was losing traction that far out.
Or is medium pilot trying to start on the mediums?
Well, he's going 1.8 seconds faster. So that's around a 27.2. Or 20, it might just be a 26, it's going to be close. Right, what can the British driver in the British car do with the backed out helmet coming through the penultimate corner now into the final corner? Lewis Griffey, it's close. It's a really cigar. A good there one. Is a cigar.
26.5 on the median. That's crazy.
He knows how to pilot those tyres because he is a medium one, but wow. What a lap time. And now he has
a better strategy. That's a very good one from medium pilot. But
that's the thing. We have to remember there's rain at the end of the race. So is he trying to go from the start phase to the rain seamlessly, whereas some of these drivers, like me last night, had to pit from the super soft tyres and had to just brave the elements on the intermediates that were taking too long to get wet.
It's dangerous too, because if he waits too long with his mediums, he will never have the pace to do something on the intermediates. It is. He tries to do something.
I think it'll be interesting to watch. Verstappen on track now to start his lap. Finally looking to make a lap that he doesn't spin. Done a 1:33 last time round as he comes through turn 1, then into farm, and he's off!
Oh, yep.
There's
I
something
don't think he will set a
dramatic-
time this.
Yeah, there's something
won't.
dramatically wrong with that setup on the Red Bull, isn't there?
But why didn't Midnight not drive yet?
You can't. Yeah, it's getting to the point now that it's going to be late to go out.
Yeah, but he didn't even set a time, so I don't know what is wrong. If he just don't want to set a time, or is there something else?
Well, we see the number 9 of someone. No.
Oh, 125.9 from Nola. He
Holy
improved
moly!
himself.
He's thrown the gauntlet down. He needs to come on. I have just gone less than a tenth faster than you. Let's just have a look at that gap. That's 1.57 seconds faster than Williams Jim Chin, who's
That's
about to come in.
1,000 and the 125.
He's about to do his lap. Midnight has retired, so I'm not sure what happened there. And Jim
Is
Tim's
Tim
on his
gonna
lap.
improve his time?
Let's, you know what, I want to do a full on-board lap with Jim Tim. I know we're just looking at the same people, but I want to do a full on-board lap to see what he does in this lap, to see if he can beat Nolan. Through into the loop now, he's got traffic in front of him. There's the McLarens, Pivoltas and Sem on laps. Sem's on the medium compound. So looking at Jim Tim, he's got his nice little on-board power here as he runs down towards Brooklands. What can he do as he comes into Lovefield? He's still going incredibly fast. He's wide and he tucks back into the apex and powers out of the corner. Whoa, slides!
I was gonna say that's a good exit, but he was a little bit too far.
Through into Stowe, slight lift and powers back on, does the eSports driver.
That's
Looking
good. That's good.
Through Magnus and Beckett's, flat, brake, shift down into Beckett's. Now he's got some toe from James Braden in front. James Braden going a little bit slow, it's fine. DRS open on the Honda powered car as he powers down towards Stowe. What can the Red Bull do? Flicks it in. No fuel left in the car. He's a little bit hesitant on throttle. He's very wide.
He goes too wide.
It's still going though. He's going to have no ERS power left. It's going to be so close between these two. What's going to happen? How close is it going to be? It's just faster!
Oh, he did it! Unbelievable!
Oh my goodness me!
Unbelievable!
Never say never, because Noland...
I really didn't expect that. What on earth happened here?
Nolan came into the chat and said something that everyone said, wait a minute, because he's just been usurped. What a lap!
Well, he went wide 2 times and still improved his lap. That's crazy.
How much faster would that have been if he hadn't have slid out of Lovefield?
I'm curious if Wouter still can become in front of medium pilot on the mediums, because if he can't do that, I'm not expecting a very good race from him.
Did I? I do that a lot, Daniel. I get those two. I don't know why I get those two confused so much, because they're completely different corners. Yeah, it's more entertaining when I have to drive myself to marshalling, and I was like, ooh, which one's which? Oh no, I know which one's which.
Wouter is going very fast.
He's pushing his hardest. Honey Badger's done a good qualifying.
He going pole.
Oh, the cheers.
That will be very crazy.
It's going to be close. It's going to be a 26-4. No. It has beaten...
He has become in front of medium pilot. That's good for him. That's good for him and for the championship.
Honey Badger with the white, black and red helmet now coming through the final corner now. Number 15 goes fourth.
That's a good lap too. In front of Wouters.
That's a good qualifying for my Badger. Oh, and Gasly
is off track again. Not his qualifying session.
Much like the namesake Pierre Gasly, really struggling with that car, and he has retired. So that is qualifying here. 2 drivers in set lap time. But what a lap time we saw taking pole. What a qualifier. I think we should just let them just go. They don't need to race now.
No. It will be a very exciting session.
This race is going to be great, and especially with the fact that rain's on its way. I think, one, it's a brilliant qualifying session from Honey Badger, who has struggled a lot this season. And he's back up there from the little badger that I need sat on my lap. Have that as you will.
I only commentated on one race with you, but in the race week before here, I really saw Honey Badger was fighting for even the 12th position. He is really a fighter, and he wants to do the best he can, even if it isn't for a point.
Okay, so let's run through the grid very quickly. The German William Jim Tim, for the first time ever, is starting from pole position ahead of Nolan in P2. Gilles is in P3 and Honey Badger in P4. P. Walters is in P5 and Nicomania is in P6. Medium Pilot is in P7. Fotio is in P8. Cheng Wow is in P9 and Owen All is in P10. We'll run through the rest of the grid and their starting tyres as we head over to the grid. But yeah, I've known Tom a long time. And he doesn't give up with anything. He gets annoyed when he... Oh, that's very dark. He gets annoyed when he doesn't extract what he wants on the car. Tonight, he has a very good chance at the podium if he calls it right with the wet weather that's on its way.
Yeah.
So what will be said?
I think the rain will be a big impact. If it falls too late, some drivers are gonna wait with pit stops. And... I don't know if that's always the good, but if the rain falls on the good time, like for guys that start on a medium, it will be a very big advantage because they only need to pit once then.
Well, I stretched my soft tyres out to about lap 13, I think, last night. I can't remember. I think it was around that. And then I had to pit for inters because it was raining, but it wasn't wet enough for inters. And I took the logical error because I was about 70% on my softs. And I thought, if I keep going, I'm going to get flat. And if I get flat, then I'm in trouble. So, onto the formation lap here as cars all clip back into position as they all leave the grid. Williams Jimton leads us away on his soft compound tyres. So remember, everyone who qualified at in the top 10 will be starting on their qualifying tyres. So let's run through them now. Because Williams Jimton is in P1 ahead of Nolan in P2. Gilles is in P3 and Honey Badger is in P4. P. Walters is in P5, Nicomania is in P6, and Medium Pilot is in P7 on the medium tyres. This will be interesting to see how he does, but remember, on the start phase, he's going to be very slow. Watch out drivers behind him. Fotio is in P9, and Chen Guangrao is in P10 in the Ferrari with his Charles Leclerc helmet. Still a pretty helmet, Robin. Oliol making it up the top 10 on the soft compound of tyres. Outside the top 10, and who has free tyre choice. Mike Bundy, who hasn't left the grid, is in P11.
No, it's 7 also.
I wonder if they've been disqualified.
They are not doing the formation lap.
They're both on medium compound tyres. James Braden, also on the mediums as he comes through Woodcut, is in P13, and Gasly is in P14 on the soft compound tyres. He'll be rapid off the line. Virgil is in
the only one.
Yep. Virgil is in P15 on the mediums, and Rustland is in P16. Virgil sliding on the formation lap. Not a very good time for him. P17 is Verstappen, who really struggled in qualifying on the medium compound at midnight, who didn't set a lap time. The tyre driver is in P18. Raikkonen brings up the grid. That's the French-Finnish driver looking for a good result here as the rain will start falling at some point in the race. Senna, my man, what do you expect in this race?
It's always difficult to say, but I think Wouters is gonna have a bad race, not because I don't trust him, but I don't think the track extremely suits him. I think Medium Pilots is gonna get a podium for sure. He has a good strategy, and I think Tim will win from pole.
We will find out what happens as we head for 26 laps of racing around my favourite circuit, and with some of the fastest guys in SFR history are lining up to get ready to go. Can it be carnage? There was new stewards rules introduced at that one incident. If it's deemed your fault, you will receive a qualifying ban for the next week, introduced tonight after how silly it was in the previous divisions. What will happen? Will these drivers have listened? Will they race like absolute maniacs? Let's find out as we head to 5 red lights here at Silverstone. The lights are on, the lights are out. Now it's a good start from P1, but a great start from further back from the Alpha Sauber, who has already passed many people. Honey Badger dropping down as they all run through towards farm. Sector 1's yellow flag, and Olio's out already as they all parallel drive into the loop, and it's all going to naught. It's all going absolutely crazy. So what will happen as you see Verstappen and Raikkonen fighting hard? Midnight right behind them, trying to find a gap. There's still, though, Williams Jim Tim leading away from Nolan. Midnight through the inside decides not to make a move on two of them as they battle forwards. James Brayton battling with Mike Bundy, who's jumped him well off the start, and they've all, but bar one, made it through lap one. Williams Jim Tim, though, he's being kept honest at the top. What happened there? I'd be interested to see. They're all pretty well behaved.
Folio has spun. Folio has spun.
Oh, big damage on Virgil.
Oh, that's crazy.
Damage from the Ferrari.
He hit a lot of people there. He hit a lot of people.
Fotio dropping from P8. Very well caught from you.
Rossi having damage too.
Lots of people with damage as Nolan tries to move into Stowe on lap 1. Does the Mercedes to try and pass the Red Bull, but Red Bull are not letting it go away. Rustland dropping behind Verstappen, who's had a good first lap. Rustland, who seems to be in a bit of trouble with that medium tyres, as he has
Raikkonen. That's a good move from Raikkonen.
Wow.
That's a crazy move from him. That was a very good move from Raikkonen.
Jim Tim leads away on P1, the German driver in the Red Bull. No, it's not Sebastian Vettel as the Spaniard in the Mercedes. No, it's not Fernando Alonso. It's right up behind him.
And Virgil and Fodio are both pitting. Virgil is going onto the medium tire again. No, he's going on the hards. So he will go at least till the rain. And Fodio has a 5-second penalty.
On the hards, I did 24 laps of racing on the hards last season.
Fodio going on the mediums, so that's another strategy.
Sem dropping behind Mike Bundy. Mike Bundy on the charge to try and catch up to his teammate who's currently in P5. William Jim Tindo, he's being kept honest in P1 by Nolan, who seems to be quicker in the corners than the Red Bull. So they all come powering through towards the hangar straight once more. And it's less than half a second between the leaders. Less than 2 tenths.
Nolan's gonna do it. Nolan's gonna try it.
Pulls to the inside line. But the 53 car pulls out because the 47's so much more controlled. Media pilot though, passing Honey Badger as well. I need to get my water. I've having coffee through this one. I've had to get some water.
It's a really unlucky start for Big Virgil, who was just doing his race, but has been caught by Fodio, who crashed. It's really unlucky for him.
DRS is now in play here at Silverstone, and the powerful tool as Sector 3, Raikkonen's around! Raikkonen's out!
Oh, what happened?
None sure what happened there, but Raikkonen is out the race, so one Mercedes down, DRS open, and now Nolan to the inside.
Yeah, he did it.
And he's through. But Jim Tim will have to play with DRS next.
And Gila's very close now too.
And the chat are already cursing Mike Bundy. Lots of little splinter battles right now as the top 3 towards Cops. And through the old turn 1, it's a 4-wheel drift for Nolan a little bit. As Jim Tim on heavy fuel is slightly slower. And we'll see what happens. Raikkonen now is going to be heading back to pit lane for a debrief from Toto Wolff and possibly a new table being built by IKEA.
Don't think that will be a funny message from Toto Wolff. I don't think we will see happy faces there.
I don't think Toto Wolff's going to have much of a table left. To IKEA! SFR, other random warehouse furniture shops are available.
On the inside of Bundy. And has gone in front of Bundy.
So Bundy dropping behind. There's the man with the pink and white helmet, which I still love. I still love Mike's helmet.
Fastest lap now from Nolan, 1:30.1.
Verstappen trying to make a move on the the Thai driver in front of Midnight. Sector 3, Sector 2, it's Virgil.
Sector 2.
Virgil, it's Fotio spinning as well.
Oh, he's out. Again, a collision between Virgil and Fodio. That's the second time.
No
this race,
collision, no. It was Virgil lost it on the exit of Cops, and he's crashed all on his own, and Fodio spun himself.
That's the second time then. Fodio spun in 4 laps time.
It's heavy fuel, they're trying to go faster than they are.
Worse. Already 3 retirements in 4 laps.
So Nolan clipping the grass a little bit. Oh, and Williams Jim Tim catching a slide. That almost could have been race ending there.
While the top 3 is really fighting with each other. The medium pilot now coming very close to Wouters.
Let's have a look at that.
On his medium tires.
Owen All has just jumped into the chat and said that he was squeezed into barrier. Well, somehow that was your fault. As Midnight comes past James Braden. James Braden having to duck behind the tyre driver, who's on an absolute charge right now from the back of the grid, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Gasly also going very consistency, just driving his race, don't look to other ones, and made up 2 places already, so he's doing fine till now.
He is doing very well as they all come through turn 1 once more and into farm. As Mike Bundy is now the next target for the tyre driver who's flying, as Alex Albon often does.
I think medium pilot's gonna try to wear Wouters.
Let's have a look. Not yet.
No, not yet. He's too far away. It was 2 tenths in the corner, but it was too far away from the straight line.
Midnight, though, he is going to try into Brooklands. Midnight to the inside line. Looking for the outside line. No! He makes it all the way through, and Mike Bundy trying to get up underneath him hasn't worked. He's going to try and tuck underneath the tyre driver at Luffield, but it doesn't happen. So Mike Bundy relegated outside of the points once more. But time will come for the Renault driver. Medium pilot.
Now 3 tenths between Wouters and the medium pilot. And that's yellow in sector 2.
Sam out of the race. Let's see if we can see where it is. It's a big accident wherever it is. But it is.
I don't know what happened, but I just think, yeah, it all happens in sector 2.
P. Walters passed by medium pilot.
He did. Medium pilot doing a very good race on his medium tires. That's crazy.
The German in the McLaren. No, it's not Gerhard Berger. Is looking to.
Now Honey Badger is also close to Wouters.
The flying
Wouters
Dutchman.
not having his best race till now.
I wonder if it's the tyres though, because around now it's starting. If you push hard, your tyres do start to fade a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I pushed.
If medium pilots can wait on these tires till the rain, he's gonna win this race.
Ooh, strong statement from Senna, as we're looking at the Flying Dutchman of Honey Badger.
And if he can keep this pace, because now he only lost 3 seconds in 6 laps. That's a half second a lap on slower tires.
I think it's going to be interesting. Verstappen on the inside of Braden and he has made the move into Brooklands. A good move and a crucial move there, as the man who struggled in qualifying.
Trying on James too, on the inside, but he hasn't got speed enough to get in front of him.
I think Nolan's in a bit of trouble, because Jim Tim's now starting to push, and he's having to make micro wheel movements because of the dirty air through the fast corners.
But Tim is also on the pressure of Jill, who is still in P3 again, just like last week.
Anything could happen, and last week we saw Jill making a mistake. I very much doubt we'll see a mistake from this time for the Frenchman.
I don't hope for him. I enjoy NS yellow in sector 2 and 3.
I think that
don't really
seems to be. It's not Fotio, so it's someone else.
No, I don't really see someone who dropped.
No, nor did I.
Or something.
Looking back
maybe
at Gasly,
just going too wide or something.
Just drank my water. My brother made burgers earlier, and my water has a slight taste of burgers, which is quite an interesting concoction.
Yeah, interesting story.
Shut up! Get back to commentary. Okay.
You mean like?
Oh god. Oh, what am I going to do without you guys? Looking now at Gilles in the Haas. What's he doing? Because I wonder if he's feeling his race is being compromised right now by these guys in front.
I don't know. I think he maybe is a bit stressed because what happened last week. But if he can keep just, yeah, it's interesting. It's really interesting. But Tim now going very slow, so maybe he's gonna try it here. 2/10 from him, but Tim is edging away.
Verstappen fighting with Bundy through Mags and Beckett, fighting with his Red Bull more than anyone, to be honest. He's really struggling in that car. Quick on the straights, but really suffering. I still think I had the best setup. So it was not the quickest, but it was the best. He looks to the inside, Verstappen almost making a Daniel Ricciardo style dive on the Renault. Braden dropping behind Gasly now, but he's going to try and fight back at him. The 15 Haas is going to have to give up though. And the clouds are forming though, Senna. They're forming.
Oh, it is.
The final sector's incredibly dark, so I wonder if we'll be seeing some rain sooner rather than later as they come through towards the loop.
But what are the guys on the softs gonna do? Are they gonna wait on the rain or are they gonna pit?
What does the chat think? Yeah, have a try on my setup. The setup was so balanced, it felt so good. Gilles is so much closer to the top three. They're within. If someone lost it in the top three, then they could take out the other two, couldn't they?
It is just like last week. It's the same story, but all the drivers now. Only Gilles is the same as last week. The medium part now coming into the 2 seconds of Gilles. And the Honey Badger still in the DRS distance of Wouters.
At this point, a driver's thinking, let's just calm down. Gilles is absolutely ragging the Haas, though.
Yeah.
He's pitting, same as Jim Tim.
Oh, they're gonna pit together.
So, breaking down to 37.
They almost crashed into each other.
37 miles an hour for the slowest pit lane on the Formula 1 calendar, because it's the longest. So you can lose a lot of time. This is why pit stops are so crucial here at Silverstone. And why you're going to start thinking.
Nolan really need to push to get in front of the two. Now is the question, is Nolan gonna wait, or is he gonna pit this lap?
It's going to be raining, so everyone's getting ready. I don't know what's happening. Gilles is really impressing the SFR paddock right now. Go back to look at Verstappen now, who's looking to pass Mike Bundy in the Renault. DRS is open as he looks to the inside line. He is going to make the move.
He did it.
Mike Bundy,
yeah, he did it.
Who luckily abandoned his chances of wearing a god-awful Daniel Ricciardo reference helmet, and opposed to wearing a nice helmet, which I like, has to drop back to P8. Nolan with a time penalty for multiple warnings and corner cuts. Is that
so medium pilot is now in P1.
Well, yeah. Medium pilot is going to be in P1.
Now Honey Badger going on to Wouters, going on the outside of him.
Oops, that's
Oh, not yet. No.
Oh,
yeah, he did.
I think they touched a little bit.
I don't know.
Oh,
Wouters has a 5-second penalty. Speed in the pit lane.
Now,
he went too fast into the pits.
Now we look.
Wouters really having a bad day.
We look at Jim Tim now, though. Jim Tim's just coming through Stowe.
Nolan going onto the softs. Oh, and Wouters has gone in front of Nolan in the pit stop.
And dropped behind him. There's more questions than answers right now. What will happen? Looking at Jim Tim, though, in the Red Bull. Where's Nolan? Nolan's just coming up to the timing wall. This is going to be remarkably close between the two drivers. Jim Tim coming through turn one now. Where's Nolan? He's in front.
Oh, he crashed. Russian crashed.
Russian crashing.
That was a big crash. I was
just it's a massive incident.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
He's missing almost all the tyres on the left side. What a big accident.
That was a big crash. I just saw him spinning against the wall. He completely lost his car.
Nolan has been jumped by Williams Jim Tim, but not only by Williams Jim Tim, but also by Gilles. So Gilles is now in a net second place of the race as they recover the Williams of Rusland. What a shame, because Rusland is so impressive. I love watching Rusland on track.
It is. And
I-
Gasly now is in P8 after that bad qualifying.
I despise Ricciardo's helmet. He went through an identity crisis. So I get you asked questions about helmets again.
And now Honey Badger is in the pits.
Gasly is trying to pass James Braden. The clouds are forming, and the drivers are pitting.
And Gasly is gonna pit.
Nolan's in front of Gio though. Knew that was coming. The Spaniard so much more quicker than the Frenchman. But those the top three though, or the previous top three, all pitting for new soft compound of tyres. So they're double stopping and hoping that the rain does come soon. As Jim Tim is the fastest man on the track.
With a 29.7. That's fast.
A little bit slower than Lewis qualifying that time.
Already between Midnight and Medium Pilot, 9.4 seconds.
It's a little bit slower than their qualifying that time, isn't it? A 29.7.
It is.
Just a little bit.
Gio now in 5/10 between Nolan. So maybe he's gonna try it if he can get close enough, but he doesn't.
Honey Badger is on medium tyres now, and he's looking to overtake P. Walters. What can happen from the Dutch driver as he comes up behind the German?
Why Walters take the hard tyres.
No,
because
it's
it's
not.
really looking like it's gonna rain every lap.
It is looking
so
to rain.
I don't really understand why he's gone on the hard ones.
I think P. Walters is hoping that the rain is just enough to coat the track, but not enough to cool for the wet tyres. And he's hoping that the hard compound tyres...
If it's gonna rain like in lap 13, I don't think it will be dry enough to finish the race on these tyres.
Well,
it is an interesting move.
We had something
going
like
really
that
slow now.
at the touring car at the weekend. It was a toss-up between which drivers were going to start on wets and which drivers didn't start on wets. The guy who actually won the race in the touring car started from the pit lane and won the race because he started on wet compound tyres, and because of how slow the pit stops are, they wouldn't stop and change the tyres. Even on the safety cars, they wouldn't stop and change it because they just lose too much time.
29.1 now.
You're
really pushing it now.
The drivers all hold their breath as they wait for the clip of the slight screen freeze as the rain begins to fall. The darkness clouds over Silverstone. What will happen in this mega amphitheatre of racing?
Honey Badger still trying to get close enough to overtake Wouters, but he hasn't gone the overspeed on straight, I think.
No, well, Walters has got some amazing straight line speed in that McLaren, but Honey Badger's quicker in the corners. And look at how much they're drifting out wide in Luffield and tucking straight back in, and a little than Walters on exit. That could be detrimental to the McLaren.
I really think Wouters is not having a very, how do I say it, a comfortable weekend.
He's really struggling.
He's really struggling with the lost his wheels a couple of times. So if he is gonna really push the limits, he may crash, I think.
The dirty air
if he goes
destroying
too far.
Honey Badger, isn't it?
Yeah.
What will happen as they get closer and closer?
No, he doesn't try it.
Walters is pitting.
Oh, Walters is pitting.
I know what he's doing. He's pitting to serve his 5-second penalty. No. Okay.
No, he retired.
Okey-dokey.
That is 0 points for Wouters.
There goes my theory.
Is gonna be he has a chance of being the championship leader now.
I believe he does. Admin's in the chat. Can you just take a look at the standings and give me a slight deterioration of what might happen there? As Sector 3 and yellow flags are waving, P. Walters adhering to the rule of if you're done with racing, pitting there.
And there's yellow in Sector 3. I think
Sector
that's
1.
for
That'll be for
Sector
Walters.
1 now.
Yeah, before Walters' ghost car.
Yeah, I think so. Now, the only really close gap is between Gio and Nolan, but that's a gap there. It's there for a couple of laps already.
I think the trouble is now, Jim Tim is coming up behind drivers that he knows are slower than him or on different tyres who haven't stopped yet. He's going to have to get through this field quickly and not lose any time because Nolan is right on his backside. DRS open on the Red Bull. DRS opening as he pushes now to pass Braden.
He's going to do it.
Braden opted not to fight too much for the position because he knows he's faster.
Yeah, he did it.
No points for McLaren. and Pilot is 16 points behind, so he will overhaul and pass him if he has a good race tonight. James Braden is now...
Medium Pilot can do the job of his life today.
Where's the rain? Where's it go? I think we're a little bit away from rain. I'm predicting lap 16, maybe lap 17 for the rain to start falling. Lock up for Braden, and we shall see what happens. We're going to keep our eyes on the monocoques of the car, and whichever one we're looking at, as we're currently looking at Noland.
I'm going to try it on James.
This would be a very simple move.
On the inside... Oh, I don't know if... Yeah... False braking from James.
Gunter's on the radio! Get out the way! And he is out the way, look at that. Very well done for James Braden to know.
And it's raining.
Okay, well, sod my prediction. Now, the drivers who haven't stopped are thinking, yes!
Medium Pilot's really doing the job of his life today. Like I expected from him. He is, if nothing unexpected happens, he is gonna win this race. With one hand.
Robert Kubica style.
Yeah.
Joking poor taste.
And the Williams too, yeah.
So, the Haas swapping positions.
Kubica winning in the Williams.
No, let's put him in Formula E and see if he can make it through all the tight corners in Formula E. Oops. That was the thing. They're announcing Mahindra's drivers tomorrow for Formula E.
Ooh.
And the running comments on the Mahindra page was Pascal Wehrlein and Robert Kubica. Speaking of Pascal Wehrlein, did you hear that Campos, the Formula 2 team's outfit, are looking to enter Formula 1 once more?
I didn't.
Now, Campos had a Formula 1 entry that worked out of a factory where Campos works in Spain years back called HRT. Anyone remembers that one? So Campos looking to enter Formula 1 in 2021, possibly under, I think it's called the MIM project they're calling it. I'm not sure why. And Pascal Wehrlein's on their shortlist for drivers.
Yeah. I don't expect Wehrlein to come back in F1 soon.
Well, we shall see a few years until the MIM project opens up. But now the rain is falling and this track is about to get very difficult. The track drains, that's the thing. The track, it drains so quickly at Silverstone. And I've been there when it does drain. And we went out and we looked at it. It was so moist.
And we have already 6 retirements.
Let's run through the order of the grid right now, as I try not to make a noise with my nose. Because Medium Pilot is in P1, ahead of Midnight in P2. Well done to him. Verstappen is in P3.
The midfield is coming close to each other.
It is. And then Mike Bundy is in P4. Williams is in P5 from pole position. Nolan is in P6 and Gill is in P7, followed by his teammate in P8 of James Brennan. P9 is Honey Badger and outside the points. Sorry, not outside the points. Nicky May is in P10 and then outside the points. Here they come.
Ghazi is pitting.
Chain Game is in P11. Gasly into pit lane. Keep an eye on him. And Fotio is in P13.
Is he going on the intermediates? That's the question now.
Because I had to just shut my mic off for a moment. Gasly coming into pit lane. He is onto the green striped intermediates. That's very early.
I think that's early, yeah. Think it too.
From the Greek driver.
I don't know if that's really the good strategy. And Frodio's still struggling. He really had a bad start and now just, driving for nothing. Driving to finish the race, but not much more.
I've started off a conversation about HRT now in the comments. I like that. Lee has a favourite HRT. Look at the 2011 HRT. That Lee loved that livery. I personally didn't. Drivers heading to pit lane.
Is so close.
Someone to pit lane. It's Verstappen. Verstappen into pit lane. Let's have a look at Gasly.
Didn't, but Gasly is slow. Oh fuck! I think he's really slow.
This is what happens.
It's too early.
Drivers are considering pitting and everything. Nolan looking to the inside, decides not to make a move. He's going to hit Williams. Jim Tour if he's not careful. Chain game with a
5
time
second
penalty.
penalty would change game while speeding in the pit lane. He's also going on the intermediates then, but I think it's too early. If we see Gasly is really struggling and he's really slow.
Passing Bundy, Nolan passing Bundy. And Bundy is going to have to avoid them and just pray that it gets wetter. As they touch, a touch between the two previous leaders. Nolan looking to get past Jim. Excuse me, I went Lando Norris, sir. I've started off talking about the liveries. This is my element here. Helmets and liveries. DRS still enabled here as they run through Maggotts and Beckett's. And it is Nolan.
Medium still going.
What does Nolan do? Is he going to try and get through? I think Nolan's going to have a decent bash in it this time. He's quicker. He is quicker as the overspeed powers up to the inside line at Stowe. And a 53 car is going to try it. They're not going to touch
because into each other, please.
Jim Tim knows what to do. They're close to touching.
There's a penalty for medium pilot.
And Jim Tim's going to have to
second penalty.
Yeah, so pilot now penalised as Nolan did, and Jim Tim having to just avoid the rear of Nolan as he has to back up behind him. Oh, he's had a wash of dirty air though, and Gio is close. Gasly lapped. He's having a Gasly race.
Yeah, he really is. A Gasly with Red Bull, not a Toro Rosso. I don't really understand how he can be faster in a Toro Rosso than a Red Bull. That's crazy.
Pressure. The pressure got to him at Red Bull. You can tell it's bad when he crashed in testing, and the pressure got to him. Honey Badger passing James Braden. So Honey Badger on fresher tyres is now up there, and the rain lights are flashing on lap 18 out of 26 here in Silverstone. Let's check in with one of our intermediate runners. Hello, Verstappen. How slow do you go? Extremely.
Frodio is in the pits now.
Have a catch up with the pit lane. Have a nice run down. The
medium pilot's gonna pit.
Ooh, hello.
It is the time to pit.
So, the British driver in, and now is he pitting?
There's yellow in sector 1.
I think that's Gasly. It's not Gasly, is it Verstappen then?
No, it's chain game.
Oh.
Chain game went white.
Easily done that.
On that inter tire.
So, Williams, Jim Tim to pit lane.
Still going.
Oh, Williams, Jim Tim to pit lane, and Nolan and Gio have stayed out. Is that detrimental to Jim's race, or is that going to suffer to everyone else's? What is happening?
Is medium pilot taking the right decision to pit for the enters? Or is he going to lose his race here?
Pilot out on track now.
Just behind, no, just in front of Honey Badger.
The rain's definitely coming down heavier.
And it is coming down, but I don't know if this is faster.
I don't think so.
That's
I don't
so
think
slow.
Yet. Where's Honey Badger? Oh, don't know. Right there. It was. Oh, Honey Badger! Oh, catch it! Well done!
That's a good save from Honey Badger. He almost crashed.
I know that it's like commentators can't drive a coach, so I just did massively there, didn't I?
Now I maybe understand the choice of medium pilot now. Because Honey Badger, Honey Badger really is struggling.
Well, Mike Bundy on the intermediates is struggling as well. If everyone can't decide what tyres is going to be on, Fotio is in trouble as well.
Everyone's struggling now. Even on the slicks, even on the inters.
I think we're literally on the crossover point and no one knows what to do.
Is Midnight gonna pit or not? He is. Midnight is going into the pit. Nolan is going.
Oh, it's a late call. It's an extremely late call.
Everyone is going into the pits now, so medium did the right thing, I think.
Chenge Wow is off at turn 2. He's out the gravel. He's done a lead now. So he's back going again. Now, I wonder, I feel for Tom, because he's just pitting now. He's going to drop well behind everyone else. And Chain Game retires.
Yellow.
It's out of safety car.
Yeah.
We had that last night.
I understand why he tries. It's not his race. The medium pilot now leading.
Back again, to P1.
It will be a very big gap, I think. He made the right choice
I'm
in
fanboying over
qualifying
Williams.
in this race.
Chain game out of the session. Difficult to say as we look at Jim Tim, who's round. He caught that. He's whoa! What an absolute catch and a marvellous save from Williams Jim Tim there. Oh my goodness me! And look at the Renaults. They're close together right now on track. Well, close together is a relative term, but they're 6th and 7th, which isn't a bad day at the office for the Renaults. And with Honeybadger's relative pace, this could be interesting. Remember, Midnight is an absolute stonker! And DRS has been disabled. So, with 7 laps remain, Medium Pilot leads ahead of Midnight in P2 and Nolan in P3. Not for long if Nolan keeps driving the way he is now. Good gravy. Gio is in P4 ahead of Jim Tim, who's in P5, and Bundy is in P6. Honey Badger is in P7 and James Braden is in P8. Verstappen, after a god-awful qualifying, is in P9. And Nicomania is in P10. Outside of the points, Gasly is in P11 and Focio is in P12. Drivers who will not make it to the flag in this race. Get ready. Chain game, wow. P. Walters, Ruslan, Sem, Virgil, Raikkonen and Oriol are out of the race.
If Medium just drive his car home, he is gonna be the championship leader.
I think that equally the save from Honey Badger, Nolan and Williams Jim Tim are all at the same level. They're all phenomenal drivers here in the Premier Division. Oh, Nicomania out!
Nicomania is out. So that will be points for Gasly now. Jim
Tim with a time penalty as well. So he could drop behind Mike Bundy, who I don't believe has a time penalty. Let's see if we can find out where Nicomania in the Racing Point dropped it. I think it's looking for the yellow flag boards. Doesn't look to be anywhere close. It must be further down on the hangar straight. Where did he lose it? We're keeping an eye on Gasly, who's looking to usurp his teammate and get into the points. I tell you what, Racing Point.
Even Forio can get points today.
Possibly.
After this dramatic start. That would be crazy for him.
Where has Nick dropped it?
Yeah, his car already removed.
We can't see it. Ah, well.
It was something just before the pit entry, I think.
I think Racing Point need to just try and steal Gasly off Red Bull and put him in their car, because I don't think he's a totally bad driver. I'm talking real F1 now, just to clarify. Whoa, Verstappen, slightly limit on the curb.
A medium pilot now, almost gonna lap Fodio.
So, words will be saying as everyone gets ready for the final race. And I think the racing now is going to become a little bit muted now because there's so little time to be gained in the wet conditions. I wonder if Renault are going to swap positions to try and favour the driver.
It will be a crazy day for Williams. They will also be leading the Constructor Championship because McLaren isn't going to take any points.
Renault
so
are
they will
together.
Be driver championship leading and they will be constructor leading. So it's a crazy day for medium pilots. Doing really well. Verstappen gets a penalty.
I think that Renault are going to swap.
That doesn't really matter for him.
I think Renault are going to think about swapping positions now. Bundy might give up his P6 for Honey Badger, because Honey Badger, if he keeps going and people get more penalties, he's not far away from the podium. Then again, neither's Bundy.
If I was Bundy, I was going to let him in front.
This is questions. I think Honey Badger's definitely quicker, but I think Bundy is the type of driver that's saying, right, well, you're going to race me then. I don't care if you're my teammate. Just don't crash into me. As they get closer and closer into Max and Beckett's in the wet is an extremely dangerous prospect. As we look at the number 95 McLaren, sorry, what am I on about? Number 95 Renault and the number 15 Renault. And you can deal with fives. Now close together towards Stowe. Bundy's fighting him, so this is going to become a teammate war. as we head on to the 23rd lap of racing.
Ooh.
What
That
a
was a
catch.
close one from Honey Badger. Almost lost his rear. While Medium Pilot just driving it to
Medium
the line.
Pilot's ordering his
without any
Chinese right now for
problem.
dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
Honey
you really
Badger's
want to
weaving,
terminate
saying,
low.
Honey Badger is weaving, saying to his teammate, listen, I'm quicker, please let me through. And I wonder if Bundy will listen in the closing stages of this race, or will say, look, we're fourth from the end, let's fight out. Whoa,
Yeah,
Honey
he's
Badger.
now, you know.
That was impromptu,
Bundy
though.
made a mistake and then, yeah.
I think
Made
that's
a
a
mistake
smart
and then
move.
thought, yeah, go on you. But I don't, yeah, it's 6.4 seconds now, and he won't be fast enough, I think, to still catch them.
Well, it's actually half of that, because Jim Tim has a penalty.
Ooh,
I don't think Honey Badger
yeah.
has one either.
Nolan is now close to midnight too.
So anything can happen in this race. And imagine if Nolan came together with Midnight in this. As they get closer and closer, they head towards the 24th lap of this track. And Midnight, who hasn't actually finished a race in SFR yet, I think he DNF'd in Austria.
Yeah, he was doing a good race, from what I remember.
Yes, and the Thai driver is going to try and hold his own against the raging Spaniard. Superb Spaniard, I'm going to stick with. What can he do? As the French Spaniard
I'm feeling
through.
a little sad for Jill.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a penalty for Nolan.
That's 6.
Now is the question, has Midnight also have some penalties or not?
I don't think Midnight has any. I
No,
won't
I
look at
don't
the race
think too.
director. But Nolan now has 6 seconds worth of penalties. What can happen? Anything, because remember, if he starts battling with Midnight, this can cause everyone to start closing up a little bit. But it's 2 laps to go, or 3 laps to go. Sorry. What's the call? Does Fred Vassier say, "Let him through, don't damage your own race"? And I think that's all she wrote for Honey Badger. Wait, did I say 5 seconds or 3 seconds?
I think it was 3.
I hope it was.
Now Honey Badger gets a penalty too. So Bundy
Noland, whoa!
virtually is in front now again.
Noland considering a dive into maggots. He's quicker, yes, but he has to be smart here.
Yeah, but Midnight has more to lose than Nolan. Nolan has a 6-second penalty, so if Midnight thinks from, yeah, I don't want to ruin my race, just go in front, I'll keep in within the 6 seconds, he is safe too. But I think he doesn't know the penalty of Nolan.
He hasn't checked, has he? The 13 car. Oh, he's getting pushed
really
through.
Close.
Oh, this is going to end in
try,
tears.
I think.
This is going to end in tears.
It's Nolan driving smart. But how
it's tucked
long
on the outside.
It's trying it. No. This is fascinating.
It is, and you went the full Lando Norris again. This could end in tears, can't it? On the penultimate lap of the race, Midnight's driving the absolute wheels of the car, and Nolan just almost lost his.
He isn't fast enough on the straight.
No, he's not. He can't get the traction out of the corners. He's got to be smart, especially through Luffield. Look how close he is. What a phenomenal speed.
It is so close racing.
The question...
And Gio is gonna finish just off the podium. I'm feeling sad for him.
Oh, slides galore! It could be worse!
Such close.
Holy moly moo! What can happen?
I want to close my eyes because this... If this finish is good, they both can kiss their hands.
What will happen? He's dropping back. So we're heading towards the final lap of the race. Where's Medium Pilot? Coming through Corpse. I'm going to have to go back on board with Nolan now because he's right there. I think he's going to drop off the podium.
And Gio's going to get on the podium.
Yeah.
Oh, and now he gets a penalty. Oh my god. 2 points. He only has podium now with 3/10 of a second.
Lando's back. Through turn 1 now. Nolan is in P3, Midnight is in P2, and Medium Pilot is in P1, and the rain coming down. We're getting to the point where you'd be saying put the extreme wet tyres on, the blue tyres. But crikey O'Reilly, what will happen?
Gio now 2.6 seconds behind Nolan. He has to keep within the 3 seconds to get the podium here.
Midnight could be Gio's best friend right now. Midnight could slow Nolan down so much that he even loses the podium. There'd be rage. Toto Wolff is ready with another table in the back of the garage. He's got his hand ready for it.
They just had a new one after the conversation with Kimi.
Kimi's just built the new one, and Toto's ready. Oh, there's the source side. Oh, he caught it! Well done to catch your best. Definitely the podium's on. He touched it.
Oh my! This is
well
unbelievable.
done to Midnight. Well done, because he's still there. Oh, I'm going to have to switch off this battle in a minute because Medium
This is so
Pilot
close. Why is he taking so many risks?
He's through.
He isn't gonna finish on the podium. Why is he taking so many risks?
What on earth?
Midnight just have to leave him go now.
And Medium Pilot wins on the road ahead of who is the question? Who's he going to be ahead of? As Nolan is going to disappear off the podium, it's going to be Midnight sideways round the corner. Medium Pilot wins for Midnight and Gio. Holy moly!
The last laps were unbelievable close racing between Midnight and Nolan. Wow!
I don't think so, Laserlord. Laserlord, he got a penalty for going wide at Corps. So I don't think there is any appeal. But nonetheless, what a stonking race for Medium Pilot, who we thought was going to struggle.
Crashed after he finished. After he finished.
Oh dear.
He just decided to, I finished, goodbye.
Medium Pilot wins from Midnight in P2, well done, and Gio in P3, finally.
And now, we're waiting on Gasly, so if you want a coffee or something, you can get it.
Oh.
But Gasly is gonna finish into the points.
So
after
Gasly,
a really unlucky race for him.
That was such a fun race to commentate on there.
It was unbelievable, it was close racing, with the rain too, it was very fascinating to see it.
To bring that the tower down, we know who's finished where. Medium Pilot has won, and then we got some nice screenshots for him as well. Medium Pilot wins at home, so 2 wins for Williams this week. Well, a little bit, you could say that. But
and he takes over the lead.
Yeah, championship leader.
And constructor.
What a range of flags we have here. Look at that.
What a weekend for Williams.
Williams win ahead of Alfa Sauber and Haas. What a race. I'm proud of all of the Premier drivers there, because they did absolutely phenomenal.
8 retirements. Very close racing on track. It was one of the best. Yeah, it was the best race I've commentated on because Austria was a bit boring. But yeah, well, this was unbelievable. Now I understand why you love Silverstone so much.
Let's run through the grid. Barring any Stewart's investigations, Medium Pilot wins ahead of Midnight in P2 and Gilles is in P3. Nolan in P4 with penalties ahead of Williams Jim Tim in P5. Good showing for him. P6 was Honey Badger. P7 was Mike Bundy. James Braden was in P8 and Verstappen in P9. Gasly in P10. Out to the point, so there's only one finisher, and that was Photo. The non-finishers were, get ready, Nick Amania, Chengin Wow, P. Volters, Rustland, Sem, Virgil, Raikkonen, and Oliol, who didn't even make it off the start. Whew! That was fun.
It was.
We will be doing interviews.
Good race.
We will be doing interviews. So let's see if we can do. I will quickly invite them. So let's get Gio in because he finished on the podium. Apologies for the screen going blue as we quickly invite them, and we'll quickly see what we can do about getting them into the chat. Gio does speak French, so hopefully he can speak a little bit of English. Someone's a medium. I can do a French accent, but when it comes from an English person, it's slightly racist.
Croque monsieur.
I can't do that. If I do that, I get branded a racist. And let's see if we can get no. Midnight's. I'm gonna read Midnight's bio out because it's quite insane. It's called "Call Me Butter" because I'm on a roll. No. So let's have a look at the winning car.
Hello.
And it is the Williams. Midnight has joined us. Midnight, can we just check to see if your mic is set to share?
Yeah.
Cool. So we have Midnight in here, and we'll see if the other two can join us in a moment. We'll just check. We'll give them a few minutes. Anywho, so Senna, any standout moments in that race from your memory, or was the last lap just too intense?
Oh, I forgot everything I saw. I don't have any memory. I remember I went full Lando Norris a few times. That's enough. No, it was such an amazing race. The last laps was so good racing from P2, P3. Yeah, it was an unbelievable race to watch.
It was a fun one to commentate on as well. So it looks like the other two won't be joining us. We'll go straight to Midnight then. Midnight, you finished in P3, but you classified P2. How does that feel?
It's not bad coming from 18th. My goal for today's race was just to not get penalties, and it turns out it worked. So I'm happy with that.
That's often the case. In qualifying, was that a strategic call not to do a lap, or was that just because you couldn't get one in?
It's kind of both. I mean, I didn't have any set of mediums because I didn't know it was going to rain. But I had a league race on Tuesday, and the exact same weather settings happened. So I thought, well, I'm still not going to do a lap, start from the back and make my way through the field and, take advantage of the people starting on the softs, having to pit before the rain comes. So I kind of already knew when it would rain.
At what point did you think that you were getting a podium, if at all?
Well, at the point where the soft runners pitted, and when I was making my way through the field and soft runners pit, I thought, well, yeah, I could actually get a podium here. I could actually get one.
So, we believe that you were running a good race in Austria last week, and this only being your second race, now back on the podium. How is that? How are you finding SFR so far? Because you're very new here.
Good, actually. I mean, good competition, good drives to race against, and I'd like to talk about Austria real quick. I feel like I got very. Let me think what happened in Austria. I don't remember Austria actually.
Nor do we. We've slept since then.
I really don't remember what happened in Austria, but I think I got points. I think, possibly.
You were running in the top 5 at one point, then something happened.
It was with. Oh yeah, I got wing damage, didn't I? I got. I did. I can't remember.
That's all right. It's all right. Looking forward though to next week. Are you gonna try and make it one better and take the top step at Hockenheim?
I'll try, yeah, but Hockenheim, again, not one of my greatest tracks, so I don't really. I'm just hoping I can get points there, to be honest. Podium, even better. Win. I'll go to the moon.
All right, so we'll let you go, and I'll just go back to Senna. Congratulations on P2, though, mate.
Congratulations.
Sure. Have a good day.
Good one.
Now, Senna, on a scale of 1 to oh my god, I need new trousers, how was that race for you?
Yeah, it was crazy. I think I expected first position correctly. I was really expecting a good race from midnight.
You're going to hold that over everyone saying that you called who was going to win, didn't you?
Maybe.
Oh.
No, but he was a good strategy. It was a good strategy. He decided to go in at the right moment. So yeah, he can be proud of himself to take now the lead of the championship and take the lead throughout the constructors for Williams.
Most definitely. So Williams might actually have a good result this season after all. Nonetheless, though, that is this week of SFR done. Next week we're off to Hockenheim for the German Grand Prix. Join us on Monday night, where the GP4 drivers will be taking out onto track ahead of everyone else that week. Are you looking forward to next week in Hockenheim?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to every race, so I don't really have a favorite commentator or something. I like some good racing.
He says his favourite Silverstone, that's what he means.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright. Thank you so much for watching this week. It's been a monumentally fun week to be at Silverstone with SFR. Thank you, Senna, as always, coming to join us. It's always fun to have you up in the box.
That's the same for you, buddy.
My name is JB. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all of us that came to comment. Thank you to all the drivers that came out on track and made these races possible. Have a very good weekend, and I hope you all enjoy watching Jensen Button decimate the DTM drivers in the Super GT versus DTM race. Oh yeah, Sophie, I went there. I will see you all next time. Ciao, guys!